So ultimate troll man Jimmy Butler has begun his media proxy war with Pat Riley in order to secure a brand new contract before hitting the age of 38, as the NBA and the Players Union does have limitations on the amount of years a player can sign after the age of 38. So Jimmy Butler has a player option he could exercise and try to get a new deal signed by the time he reaches age 36. But if he has no suitors in the open market, he's going to have no choice but to opt in and try to get a new deal signed at the age of 38. But there's a method to his madness, because he does have reason to begin to jox for position to secure his bag, as the Miami Heat do have a resume of not paying people, even their all-time greats like D Wade. Let's not forget, in 2014, after LeBron James returned to Cleveland, Pat Riley did not offer Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh a max extension. And years later, he told reporters he regret not giving those guys a max deal, particularly D Wade, and allowing him to go to Chicago. So Mr. Miami himself was not able to secure a max deal after leading a team to a championship without LeBron and 2 more with LeBron. And Jimmy Butler, ever since he touched down on South Beach, has never played more than 65 games in 5 seasons. So the Heat franchise, very similar to the San Antonio Spurs, they've always been known to ask guys to take pay cuts, and they're always trying to balance their checkbooks. As they already know, the way Jimmy Butler's contract is currently constructed, he's either going to have to test the open market and deny that $52 million that he has coming his way in 2026, or he's going to have to renegotiate with them as a 38-year-old, knowing that the NBA placed restrictions on players that age as far as how many years they can sign for. But let's see how this all started with Jimmy Butler, Mr. Trollman himself. You guys check it out.
Video this. You got it?
Yep.
1, 2, 3, action. If I was playing, Boston would be at home. New York, damn sure would be fucking at home.
Josh Hart.
What the fuck that mean to me? Josh Hart.
Yo, what you stop fucking with?
Come on, man. Nah, I love Tibbs, but I don't want to. I love Tibbs. I love you, baby. I want to beat you to a pulp. You want me, I don't want you. It's like a one-sided relationship. You in love with me, and I love you, but I'm not in love with you. You know what I'm saying?
Now, some of you could tell Jimmy Boy kind of sounded a little faded right there, leaning off the yak. But Pat Riley was asked about his comments, and his response was quite interesting.
You know, you do develop some dislike for the other team, but they are, this year, I think, the best team in the league with the best roster in the league. They made some great moves. Brad Stevens did a great job in getting Holiday and Porzingis. They built their bench a little bit differently. And, you know, for him to say that, you know, I thought, is that Jimmy trolling or is that Jimmy serious? You know, if you're not on the court playing against Boston or on the court playing against the New York Knicks, you should keep your mouth shut in your criticism of those teams.
And again, going back to his playing time, Jimmy Butler missed a lot of games in his 5-year tenure with the Miami Heat. And in this season's playoffs, he also missed crucial games going down the stretch, which led to Miami being eliminated. But Pat Riley was also asked about the upcoming contract extension. As we all know, Jimmy Boy is looking for a last payday. And this is what he had to say.
Pat, I know you guys have a few months to discuss this and make a final decision, but as of now, do you feel like you guys will offer Jimmy the max extension he's eligible for, and what are the factors that go into that decision?
Well, you know, we don't have to do that for a year. So we have not discussed that internally right now, but
And keep in mind that year that he's referring to is if only Jimmy Butler chooses to opt out of the following year. He has a player option. So if he rejects that, then they're going to have to renegotiate at age 36. But if they don't come to terms, Jimmy might want to opt right back into that, especially if another team in the open market is not willing to give him $50 million, which is what he has an option to opting into for 2025-26. And that'll be his last opportunity to get a brand new deal before hitting the age of 38. See, the over 38 rule used to be the over 36 rule. I believe Chris Paul had changed it a few years back. So Jimmy does have a last opportunity to get at least a payday from the Heat or another team.
To look at that, making that kind of commitment, okay? And when do we do it? I mean, we don't have to do it until 25, actually, but we'll see. We haven't made a decision on it, and we really haven't really in earnest discussed it. So we'll just see what happens, Anthony.
With Jimmy's extension window opening July 7th, though, he can request an extension starting on that date. Typically, in his past, he has done that. Typically, there has been, I don't want to say pressure, but there has been discussion.
Pressure. There's no pressure.
Okay.
Damn. Pat Riley letting them know right away, there's no pressure. You're not putting no pressure on me, boy. Pat Riley does not play. He is a fucking ultimate general in this league. I mean, LeBron James went to Miami trying to dictate shit, and Pat Riley, you know, he synced his peoples on LeBron. Like, he sent Udonis Haslem to LeBron. It's like, hey, this is Heat culture here. Your friends, they don't come into this locker room. Rich Paul and others, not allowed in here. There's a certain way we do things in Miami, and there's a certain chain of command down here. Pat Riley does not play that game. You are not going to put him in a position where he's acting in a way of scarcity. It's not happening.
Last extension was, we gave it to him.
So when Jimmy approaches July 7th for an extension, what will the Miami Heat's response be at that date that his extension window opens?
Well, I mean, if he requests, we can either accept or we can say we're going to think about it, or we have not made a decision on it. I think you can make too much out of this. He's still got 2 years left on a contract. Theoretically, he's got a player op. But that's something that we have to give some real thought to based on a lot of factors. I don't want to go through the litany of factors right now because they all...
We all know one of the factors, how many games played that Jimmy is actually in. I mean, to be in Miami for 5 years and never pass 65 games. Wow. We're not even adding the playoff games missed.
Blow up into different hypotheticals, but yeah, that's a big decision on our part to commit, you know, that kind of those kinds of resources, unless you have somebody who's really going to be there, you know, available every single night.
So just looking at the Heat historically, if they didn't offer D Wade a contract after LeBron James had left, Wade helped them win 3 championships. He took a pay cut when LeBron James came through. And we all know he's one of the guys that kind of helped orchestrate that recruitment of LeBron to come to Miami to add to the accolades of that franchise. So they rejected giving that guy a max deal. And D Wade was still at a better prime age than where Jimmy Butler is at today. But the finances of the league is at a different point today, and teams are going to have to spend. They're going to have to manage their risk, make good assessments on it, and they're going to have to take a risk at some point. But maybe the Heat are not willing to take a risk on Jimmy Butler, but his injury history in the last 5 years with them. So we'll see.